Sean Sewell, Engearment.com. It's my pleasure to have on for a second time my friend Matthew Flaherty. Matthew, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me back again.
My pleasure. You were the first person I had on the show during the stay-at-home / quarantine. So now it's day 63 for you in New York.
Yeah. My computer just reminded me that it hasn't been backed up in 63 days. So I know that's the last time I was in my apartment.
Wow. Well, hey, we're drinking on this show. Cheers to you.
We need to.
We need to. For a lot of reasons. Celebrations, and also it's just what you do on what day is today? Wednesday?
It's the day after yesterday.
It ends in Y, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, before the push and record, it's always a pleasure catching up with Matt and seeing what's new. And, our last interview was great because it started a series of interviews with people like, thanks to you, Jeff Sokol, and then Dan John and Pat Rigsby and Pat Flynn and our mutual friend Alex the Hebrew Hammer Salkin, and then Dave Whitley, a bunch of very well-known, if you don't know who they are yet, you will know, fitness and health and wellness professionals. And between you and me, I wasn't much of an online trainer at all. I have online content, YouTube channel with the videos, working with Patagonia for Engearment, but as far as like using Zoom and FaceTime and Duo to help people like you and I serve, it wasn't even on the radar. But picking your brain and picking all of Pat Rigsby's brains, how to best serve and how to adapt moving forward has been really interesting. And it was very cool to hear how you have navigated, and some of the people that have come out of the woodwork to find you for flexible steel and for martial arts coaching. It's interesting. It's really fascinating to see who's wanting to pursue their health and doing good with it, hiring professionals like Matthew, and who's not. Who's just rewatching Game of Thrones for the third time or whatever they're doing. I can't make it up. I don't know what they're doing, but interesting stuff. Well, I ramble on quite a bit there. Per usual.
Well, the Game of Thrones. I mean, I was trying to learn Valerian, and how else do you want to learn High Valerian other than Game of Thrones?
I hear you. Got to immerse yourself. It's
Nobody around me speaks it, so.
The kids don't speak it?
No, they just speak Mandarin.
Touche. His kids really do speak Mandarin. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They're bright kids. Which child was it that had a birthday last week?
Last week was my younger son, Mason, had his third birthday.
Right?
Exactly a month before, so April 10th and May 10th. My older son Aiden turned 5, and then my younger boy Mason turned 3.
Wonderful. How the kiddos? And my wife had a birthday in this quarantine as well. How the kids adapting to this?
They just think that we're at a very long vacation at Gigi and Pop Pop's. That's literally what they think. I don't think my younger son really kind of grasps what's going on. Other than he got a new big boy bike and he now sleeps in a bunk bed instead of a crib. Like that's where his world kind of ends right now.
Right.
My older son has been asking some questions, when can we go back to the city? When are we going to go back home? Can you buy me this toy that I used to have at home since we're not going back home so I can have it here? Mm-hmm. Which of course we did.
Good parents.
He understands that there's a boo-boo in the city and that we can't go back for it yet.
That's good.
So that's kind of the end of his understanding. I'm not going to tell him, hey, if we look out our apartment window, we're going to see the freezer trucks with bodies from, the hospitals that we're around. Why are people wearing masks? He understands there's a sickness in the city and we just can't go back yet.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a pretty big concept to grasp. Pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, especially for 5, it's like, how do you explain it? Like, no, seriously, like if you have a way to explain it, please let me know.
I don't know.
Figure this out.
We have 4 nieces under the age of 5. 4. And one of them was very recently born, a few months ago. So, I was talking with her mother, my sister-in-law, Danielle, what is it like? And what's your perception? She's Danielle's also a nanny by trade. Like she's really good with kids. She went to school for it. And she's a great, great mother. Like, how are you handling the lack of interaction for this youngest child? Like, are you concerned about this moving forward, about the only knowing your family or, a much smaller circle, as it were?
Luckily, both of their schools are still doing like an online thing.
Oh, cool.
So Aiden is still in school 5 days a week. He's got time in the morning and then some time in the afternoon. The one issue that we're finding with him is they're following the same schedule that they did in school. So every other day is English, Mandarin, English, Mandarin. So the days that he has English and he has homework, we're on top of it.
Right.
The days that he has Mandarin, Aiden, do you want to go build some Legos? Because there's only so much that we can do.
Right. Wow.
Mason, so my older one, he's got kind of like the FaceTime with some of his friends and his teachers in school. Mm-hmm. We've also set up, virtual play dates, where he got an iPad for his birthday. So he runs around the house with it, showing off mm-hmm. the Legos that he got and, with his friends. And he's just goofing around with his friends and kind of like stick my head around. And they're like making like, goofy sounds at each other and just laughing and having a ball. So in that sense, I think he's doing okay. Mm-hmm. My younger son, kind of the same thing. Minus the virtual play dates. His school is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's in for about 2 hours in the morning. He's got a 15-minute break where they do some like arts and crafts things where, we'll help him build something or, create something. Apparently the other day he had to do a drawing of somebody from the family.
Hey, it's you.
Yeah. The first thing we drew was the Humpty Dumpty face, and then before we even put the face on, he's like, we got to put Daddy's beard and hair.
Yeah, that's very flattering.
Like, this is what they're doing. So yeah. He still has, of course, it's on my wife's desk. So he still has that interaction. Mm-hmm. Most of his interaction at home anyway was, with kids in the playground. Mm-hmm. So now he's just got his brother instead of his friends. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's just kind of like solo alone, kind of a lost soul in the world out here. Mm-hmm. He's got his brother, they're sharing a room again now with the bunk bed. So it's like a 50-50 thing. Like, am I worried that, because he's not interacting with other people and he's just, how does he communicate with his brother? They growl as loud as they can at each other. When we go back to the real world, like clearly that's not going to fly, but
also they speak Mandarin.
Yeah. So
it could be all right.
I don't think he's going to lose like all social skills being just out here with us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I definitely think he's losing out on stuff by just being here with us.
Sure. I absolutely get that. Here, you guys are doing great parenting wise from what I see. I love your posts on Facebook of the interactions and what you're doing. It's super, super inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. And about not having things, resources. I was talking with Pat Flynn on 2 different shows we've had. I'm not trying to keep dropping names, but I am dropping names because these are really big people that help.
Drop them like they're hot.
Right, they're great. So Pat and I it was funny. It was right around Lent, and I'm not religious per se, but he is obviously he's like, a lot of people are going to be giving up a lot more than they think for Lent this year. And we did, right? But in that whole process, I think what's beautiful about it is when you take away the things we're used to and take for granted and appreciate, it's going to make us appreciate them even more going forward, when and if we get to use them again. Like that split board has been sitting there for like 2 months, man. Usually it's got 100 days on it. It's got 0. So yep. When I do get back to the mountains, whenever that is, I am just going to cry and just soak up all the love and all the energy, and just it's going to be wonderful. So I think that it's good to go without, and then to appreciate when you do have it again.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because like my wife jokes, but she's serious. Like we got to clean up our apartment because I collect stuff. I have got a ton of stuff all over the apartment. I mean, hell, I got 3 storage units in our building with just stuff that I have. Haven't used it in 63 days.
You're doing all right.
So yeah, I haven't pulled all my hair out yet.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of it is like some of my martial arts stuff, which I can't go to. I can't exactly train at a facility right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like I go back. It's like, am I gonna reach for that again and try to do that, or am I just gonna kind of like keep on doing what I'm doing now?
It's a good question.
It's weird. Am I gonna revert back to Matt 64 days ago, or is it still gonna be Matt now?
I think we all need to ask ourselves that question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Fortunately for a lot of people that I work with on a fitness level, it revolves around body weight. Hey, that's fantastic. TRX, got the TRXs back there. And then, of course, kettlebells, right? Mm-hmm. So if we train together, I kind of enforced them to buy at least 2 kettlebells and a TRX. So, they're not missing out on training because they have the tools they need, very minimal amount of tools. Whereas I'm watching a lot of other fitness professionals really suffering. I feel really bad for them because they're used to a plethora of tools. I can't tell you how many years I've been made fun of for being so minimalistic. They're like, oh, you'll never make it in this fitness business by just using 2 or 3 or 4 tools. I'm like, yeah, I am right now. Doing really good. Yeah. So I think outside of fitness, it's also nice to be able to realize what you do actually use. And my wife, you've met her, she's very clean and very organized. So we did the Marie Kondo thing before it's even happened. And let me tell you what, every weekend we have got structured out like 48-hour plan of what we're doing, what we're reorganizing. And it's incredible. It's incredibly painful.
I'm sure if I was still in the city, our apartment would look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like when we knew we were leaving, it's like I grabbed a couple of things that I wanted to dive into and really explore more. And the things that, hey, if I'm going to work out, this is what I know I need.
Mm-hmm.
So I only happen to have 1 kettlebell that's my own, and it happened to be a 32.
Oh,
so
nice.
That came in the car.
Yep.
My Indian clubs, my big clubs from Heroic Sport, my maces, and my Bulgarian bags.
Nice. Yeah.
That's literally what I threw in my car. And then it's like, oh, I'm probably going to need some clothes too. And the dog food.
Yeah. Got to have the dog food. Got to keep those guys fed.
It's like, I was like, Aiden has to sit in that car seat. I don't know why you strapped your Bulgarian bags in there. Like, wait, he's coming too.
Yeah. We got to bring Aiden.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. Now I'm with you. I got my, if I pivot that way, got the maces right there. All the minimalist tools that really work very well, right?
Yeah. And again, it was stuff that I just wanted to look. I don't know how long I'm going to have. Let me just dive into them right now. I finished up last week. I did Fabio Zonin had posted that 8-week minimalist program.
Oh yeah. That was a good article.
I literally just bought it's right behind me, a weight vest. One of the 511 Tech plate carriers.
Yeah, good.
So my program was goblet squats with my 32 and 40 pounds in the vest.
Good, nice, beefy.
Push-ups with the 40-pound vest on, and single arm rows with the belt and the vest on.
Sounds solid, Matt. That's good.
It was a solid program. I didn't really test before or after, but like I felt good after it. Like I felt like I needed it. That's kind of what the bottom line was. Like I didn't feel like lazy, like, oh, I'm just not, this is going to happen, so let me just not do anything. This is just kind of what I needed to do. It was, our basic push-pull squat. And that's what the program was. It was a solid program, felt good at the end, and, now on to the next one.
I love it. Well, speaking of programs, I do have to shout out and got to give you credit where credit's due. Quick and the Dead, Pavel. Got to have it, right? Page 43. Yep. There's our friend Matthew right there, top of the page. Testing out protocols, made it into the book with high success. And then right below that is, my name, that's kind of cool, but Eric Frohart, who's on the show today too. So how crazy is that it manifested that all 3 of us hanging out, talking today, talking about StrongFirst, talking about minimalist programs, talking about adapting. It's cool.
Yeah.
Stuff up.
No, it's cool. Like I said, don't want to go back to exactly what we said on the last show, but I had no idea that I was in it until you told me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But we can revisit that real quick. You didn't know you're in it, and you're also in the audiobook. I have a recording of it. I'll send you over. Anytime you hear your name being said, but being said by Pavel, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
You know, it's also cool seeing like the programs work.
Yeah. Simple and effective.
Follow the plan, and these things work. And it was like I said, it was. I happened to be like 12 weeks out of this bike ride, and I reached out to Craig Marker, and he was like, "Hey, I got a 6-week plan for you." I was like, "Great! I got 12 weeks, so I can do it twice." That's what I did, and you know, the numbers speak for themselves. They were. It was pretty awesome to see the improvements over. It was 2 different rides, but just the same high level and high quality of a ride, and they were both 100+ miles out west when I was training at sea level.
Yeah, he trains in, for context for listeners and viewers and readers, Matt's in New York. He did this in Steamboat. Okay, that's more than a mile high. That's about 2 miles high at some points.
80, I think they're just under 9,000 at the town.
At the town, but you went up.
Forget even going up the passes. And the first ride I did was it not the triple bypass, not the Copper Triangle. Actually, it may have been the triple bypass. So it may have been going over
hardcore. Triple bypass, for listeners, again, to give context, is Squaw Pass, Vale Pass, and Loveland Pass. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not anything to take lightly. That's
Avon to Evergreen.
Yeah. That's nuts, Matt.
Yeah.
I feel like a badass climbing a mountain, snowboarding down it, but that's like 5%, maybe 10% on a big day of what you did. So the plan worked. You worked.
You know what? It was fun. It got me out to the mountains. I love Colorado, so any excuse to get out there, even if it's me doing something that I really have I should not be doing. I'm out there.
I love it. Yeah, I feel bad because the last time you were out here was February. Yeah. And we had planned to go backcountry snowboarding. I actually had a place. I talked to the owner of a private mountain. I was going to have you outfitted and take you up safe, guided, not by me. I'm not an official guide, but guided with a real guide up a mountain, have a good time. But you'll laugh at this. I was super sick. Yay, not too funny. Had a fever like 105. I never miss work. I canceled one day of work just because I don't want to show up with a fever because I feel like that's contagious. And especially nowadays, I know that's not even close to being true. You're contagious for a long time. Anyways, Doc Hartle, our friend Doc, was my podcast guest. I'm like, Doc, I have no voice. I got to reschedule. And so anyways, I went and got my COVID test yesterday. So I figured I had it. So I'm like, I had no energy, super high fever, needles in my chest. And I was talking with Eric Frohart about this too because he was at this big gun conference called SHOT Show. It's like, for gun owners. And that similar time stretch, I'm at the Outdoor Retailer Show, which is the biggest event in this hemisphere for outdoor companies like Patagonia. And there's like 50,000 people in each one. We're hugging and, swapping beers and bourbons. And anyways, I was pretty sure I was exposed to it. So I did my blood work, got the results back about 3 hours ago. I didn't have it. I know. I was like, come on, give me this.
Just let me have it.
Let me beat this. I beat everything else usually through failure, but no.
Yeah, no, it's we've had actually a couple of friends that have had it.
What has their experience been like?
We've had a couple of friends that have lost family members due to it.
Wow.
And then we've had a couple of friends that like it was nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's so hard to say like, hey, should I have gotten it? Should I have not gotten it? Just to get over it, like.
Right.
It's so weird, the spectrum of just like how it affects different people. Right. You see some of these stories like 103-year-old leaves hospital after battling COVID, and then you see like a 25-year-old that loses the battle to it.
Right, and that's the thing.
And then vice versa. 25-year-old, hey, beats it like, oh yeah, I felt nothing. I just couldn't smell, couldn't taste. Apparently, I had it. I had no idea.
Right, and that's the thing that I don't think people understand is it can affect people of our age and younger in big ways, especially if they have comorbidities they did not know they had. I had a friend who's very active. He's much like you and I, similar age, And he had to call Flight for Life because he couldn't breathe. Like, he was effed up, you know? Luckily, his father, who has oxygen and COPD, was able to come over, give him oxygen to allow him to feel better and not have to do a Flight for Life. But come on, like, this guy who races motocross, he's really tough. But you don't know. You just don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. And, you know, it's crazy. Like, I see all those things where people are like, oh, just open up. We don't know what's going on. Blah, blah. It's all a hoax. It's the government. It's this and that. It's like, dude, do me a favor. Just come to my apartment. Just count. You can just stand there for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Count all the bodies that are coming out of that hospital.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't know. Obviously, you know, New York is more populated than most places in the States.
Sure. And,
you know, we have a higher case number because we have more people.
Yeah, it's very dense.
I was talking to somebody, and they were like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, we've had like 6 cases in like our entire county. It's like, dude, I've got 6 cases on my floor, and there are only 7 apartments.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's perspective. You know, we're literally in ground zero again.
Touche. Yeah, touche. Oh man. It's so interesting too. Like, I applaud. We have a great governor. I'm not trying to get into politics or anything like that, but I am going to, again, give a shout out where shout outs deserved. Our governor acted quickly, right? With grace and with humor. Heck, on his last speech is on May 4th. Star Wars, we're Star Wars nerds, right? He had a Star Wars nerd tie on. That was very approachable, very kind, very. So I listened to him, and, you know, like I might mention our last one, I help run, at the moment, I think it's the biggest backcountry skiing and snowboard group in the world. 8,500 people in a private Facebook group, and we kick out like a tenth of them every day. You know, because there's a lot of assholes out there. Mm-hmm. We're not giving them a platform to talk like that. Yeah. But anywho, we wrote a letter to 5 admins, myself included, saying, we are not your boss. We're not in charge of you. We've reached out to doctors and nurses and EMT people and search and rescue, which is a volunteer job, by the way. It's not a paid gig. We reach out to them. How do we support you? What's the best practices as a Denver local or as a Boulder local who wants to recreate in the mountains? Because that's what our group is about, getting beta, sharing stoke, meeting new people. I had to take a very hard look at what we're doing as leaders and put up a letter. It was met with mostly good results. It was actually shared by one of our local newspapers here, and but it was tough because, you know, that's my job, is to go in the mountains, and I wrote the fucking book on splitboarding, right? Like, and I run this, like, it's my thing, and but I haven't been up there since March 14th or 15th, you know. And at first I was jonesing for it, like you are jonesing for the things, but honestly, I really don't mind it anymore. I really have been enjoying being at home and finding out what's really important to me. And those mountains aren't going anywhere. They're never going anywhere. Like, I'm going somewhere before they go somewhere. So
they'll still be there.
Yeah, they'll be there. And I'll probably get to enjoy with you and your family, you know?
Yeah. Our governor and mayor have been butting heads a bit. So it's been kind of hard to get real information. So apparently the last that we were told, there's a 7-point checklist that we need to have 4 checks, and then New York can start to slowly reopen. And it's like we have 3, and then the next day we have a different 3. Ooh. But one person is saying we have 5, so we should have opened. But the other is saying, no, you only have 2. But then the next day it's back to 3. And it's, you know, it's hard to, you know, where we get our information from, because, like, we, you know, again, the news is saying, oh, you know, showing all these countries and like, oh, Germany, they're opening up, and, you know, outdoor markets are starting to open up, and, you know, people can eat at restaurants outdoors as long as they're, you know, the tables are 6 feet apart and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then I speak to a friend in Germany, and they're like, dude, we're still on full lockdown. I can't leave my house.
Right. Oh, misinformation.
So it's like you don't know who to believe. You don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to make a decision from, you know, myself and my family when I'm getting 12 different pieces of information from 3 different sources.
That's very frustrating. I feel you on that. I don't like social media for most things. I don't watch the news. I do watch when the governor speaks, or I go to Reuters or Associated Press for my news if I do check in. It's very, very, very easy to get sucked into this negative spiral of stuff, and also misinformation. I mean, people I respect, people you respect, put out content, and you're like, oh, I really want to believe that because it sounds great, and it's debunked. Or this pandemic, and you're like, that's for anti-vaxxers. Like, come on, look through it. Like, come on. I know. And then you get people superheated, like with politics or religion. They're like, nobody's ever going to win an argument on Facebook or other social media. If they do, that's weak. But
my mother-in-law asked me the other day, like, I was watching, I've been watching a lot of Red Bull TV. And she's like, oh, can we put that on for the news? I'm like, no.
Good.
No. She's like, what do you mean no? I was like, I mean, you can put it on, I'm leaving. What, you don't watch the news? It's like, because I don't know what to believe, who to believe. Like, I could literally split screen, 2 different news stations, and they're saying completely opposite things.
And that's the unfortunate truth.
So honestly, I've been getting my news and my research from my friends who are, in the front line.
Yes.
My friends that are doctors, EMT, the nurses.
Mm-hmm.
When they tell me it's safe to go back to the city, then I'll go back.
I love that you had that resource. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have on speed dial probably 3 or 4 friends that are ER nurses or doctors in Summit County. And so I just had a FaceTime with him this morning. I'm like, hey, is it good? He's like, no, not even close.
Yeah.
No. And it's very helpful to have people actually doing the things, not people who are reading about things without checking their sources and then sharing it.
Yeah. I mean, as of the last report, we're still on, in New York, they're calling it pause. We're still on pause until June 17th, I believe, was the date they set us. So at June 17th, they'll see if we can reopen the city. So you know what? I'm doing the things that I can control. That I'm not gonna live in the, oh well, no, I'm not gonna do this because tomorrow I may be back to work and back to my regular or my 64 days ago life.
Right.
No, I'm gonna dive into what I want to dive into now. Do this, do that, and just kind of go with what we're dealing with now.
Yeah,
and what I'm being told from, like I said, the people that are actually there now.
I'm with you on that, Matt. And it's so true. Like there is the really simple saying by Anonymous, right? Basically, controlling what you can control and accepting what you can't. And trust me, I know that inside and out. I can't control when my parents have pancreatic cancer and my sister goes blind. I can't control that. But I can control telling them a fun pirate joke and showing them some love. I can't control what's going on out there. You can't control what's going on out there, but you can control what's going on in your house when the love you share with your family. And I really hope that this situation for a lot of people provides them with the opportunity to learn that's life. Like you can make the most of it, right?
Yeah.
I reach out, like you do, to a lot of my friends. Some of them aren't handling it as well as I hope, and really trying to reach out and just pull them up. I'm not perfect. I'm not doing great every moment. I definitely have my moments. My wife can attest to that. But, by and large, I'm doing very well, and I'm really enjoying this. But it pains me when I'm trying to reach out to friends like, hey, I know you can't go mountain biking and go camping in Utah and you can't do all these things, but that's okay. Like you could do so much. You have a backyard. I don't have a backyard. Go set a tent up. Like go roast some marshmallows. Like what are you even doing talking to me? Go do that. But easier said than done, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So side note, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
Oh, you think it'd be R, but it's all about the C. All right, here's one.
It's been going on for too long.
Oh, what did the pirate say when he turned 80? Aye, matey. And that's the extent of my pirate jokes.
Yeah, and I'm done. That joke's over. Ever see a giraffe throw up? It takes forever.
I have not heard that. I will use that on my nieces. That is good.
All right, and let's make the right turn back to the normal path that we were on.
Oh, yeah, health, wellness.
Yeah, that's things. Oh, man.
Well, so you were mentioning before we did record, you were revisiting flexible steel, right?
So, so I'm one of the instructors for, one of the master instructors for flexible steel. Fingers crossed, you'll see me September 20th at Existence Athletics in Denver.
Hope so. Yep.
Yeah, so I've been, just kind of revisiting that while I have the time. I've been revisiting some stuff with Soupless and the Bulgarian bag, kind
Fun
of their
tool.
system.
Can we talk about that for a second? What is a Bulgarian bag? And let's talk about that because I know what it is, but the readers might not know.
It kind of looks like a horseshoe, a weighted horseshoe, just much larger. And a lot of the movements come from a rotational background.
Mm-hmm.
So the history that I was given about it was the creator of it, Ivan Ivanov, was coached with the wrestling team. But the problem was that the wrestling team was in the gym at the same time as, I forget, it was either the gymnastics teams or the cheerleaders. So all of his athletes just kept looking at the girls. Yeah. So, and they would never get anything done. Mm-hmm. So he reached out to his brother and was like, hey, I need a tool that I can take outside, mimic wrestling moves, and that I can get a full body workout with my guys in. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Bulgarian bag came from.
Excellent.
And Suplex actually translates to suplex.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm going to pause for 1 second. I'm going to edit this part. My dogs are going crazy. You probably hear that, right?
Yep.
Okay, 1 second.
All good.
Hey, guys, get out of the window. What are you even barking at? Oh, UPS. What did they do? Man, this is one of my favorite things. Oh, my God. Packages. Shit. All right.
One here with the audience. I thought you were actually going to hit pause. Oh, don't you start now. Pugsley. Quiet.
Sorry about that, Matt.
Nope, all good.
So this is a nice segue, actually, about life.
Perfect.
And we're back.
Leave me here awkwardly with your audience.
Hopefully you told more dad jokes. Well, my dogs were going crazy because UPS delivered a few packages, as it does, because in Engearment, we review a lot of gear. I am always astonished what comes to our house. This week alone, Patagonia, Mountain Hardware, Jolbo, Hydro Flask. Gosh, I'm missing a few. Lander, they make cool lanterns. A coffee machine showed up. Some crazy headlamp on Kickstarter. Anyways, so that's what that was. The dogs are very protective, and now we have gear to test.
Don't want nothing coming into that house that shouldn't be.
Exactly. Well,
so have you still been testing some stuff? I mean, I know you guys can't do that, but you still been doing your stuff?
It's been amazing. So last time we spoke, I think I had 24 or 25 riders on Engearment. And fortunately, many of them are not in Denver. Probably a quarter of them are, which is great. But the rest of them are all across North America and South America and a couple in Europe. So it's different regulations and different limitations. Also, most of them, they're mountain people, right? They have acreage or access to open spaces. So they're still out doing not as much as they wanted to. Like a lot of them had big plans this spring to do 20-day traverses over crazy ranges, and they can't do that because that's just not responsible. But they still have like a national forest in their backyard, and they can do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, people are still writing reviews and testing stuff out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Like every day I get a new article from somebody, and I'm like, that's breathtaking. The pictures they have and the videos they have, and it's cool. It's very inspiring. On a personal level, obviously I'm not able to get out past really our deck, but it doesn't stop us from camping. We set up at least 2 different tents on the deck, and that was entertaining for a lot of reasons. Usually if you do that in the city, people look down on you, but in fact, instead, people got inspired. They're like, oh, you can camp at home. I'm like, yeah, you can camp in your living room, for Christ's sakes. So it was so exciting. A lot of the fathers out there, actually, you'll get a kick out of this, started sending in pictures of them setting up tents in their backyards or in their basements, like with their kids camping and stuff. It started a whole trend for like a month. People were just camping at home. Nice. And it's really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
But yeah,
I'm an Eagle Scout, so I loved getting out and camping, and
yes,
that was a fun 18 years.
I did not know you're Eagle Scout. You know, You'll love
Actually,
this.
had my border review the night before my 18th birthday.
Wow.
December 5th, 1998. I was sitting there with my border review because I literally had less than 24 hours to get that stamp on all my paperwork and be approved, and officially have earned it.
Good for you, Matthew. That's awesome. You'll get a kick out of this. I'm not a Boy Scout, but our friend who co-owns Existence Athletics, Ryan Humphreys, is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that on, I think you guys spoke about that for a bit on one of the times he was on as well.
Oh, yeah. You'll get a kick out of this. All right. So I have a smaller mason jar because last time, Matt, we hung out, I got a big mason jar, and I almost blacked out towards the end of the show. Yeah, I think I did. So I literally blacked out with Ryan. We did a 3-part podcast. Neither one of us knew about the third part. Like, we went back and watched it. He's in full costume. He's got this alter ego. And we're talking about alter egos in the first and second episodes. And it's called Rad Max. And Rad Max is like a mixture of Macho Man Randy Savage and, I don't know, Einstein, right? He wants to teach, and he's smart, but he got this voice like Rad Max, you know? And he gets in full costume, got the goggles and all the accoutrement. And I'm over here eating my 3rd can of Patagonia Provisions mackerel, drunk as hell. My eyes are red, bloodshot, because I drank a whole bottle of vodka. And they sent me a second bottle of vodka because I admitted I drank the whole bottle of vodka on the show. Like the whole bottle, the whole thing. And that's why I blacked out. Anyways, he blacked out, and he cooked chicken for 2 days on his Traeger grill. He went back, and he's like, what's smoking in the backyard? It's chicken briquettes.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun when I come out for this workshop.
Yes, you are. Just Uber everywhere. We'll take care of you.
Yeah. Well, again, hoping with everything going on, the stars will still align, that I'll be in Grand Junction the night before doing that bike tour.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I hope so for your sake too, man. I really do.
Yeah, so do I. I just look, if not, it'll happen next year. But,
you're right.
Just want it to happen this year so I can do something else next year.
That's fair. Yeah, you're good at setting goals. I was talking with Eric on the last show about setting goals for training, and also with Jeff about setting goals too. Yeah. And Jeff and I had a good correlation and understanding. My goal is to train for life, right? I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and be able to do whatever I want to do under the sun. Not particularly training for a snatch contest or to set a new PR. Just don't want to feel like crap. I want to be able to help the neighbor move because she's super hot. And then, whatever it takes.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite quotes from Jeff is basically, he trains so that his bad habits kill him later than sooner.
I can support that. I'm not going to drink on that one. Yeah.
Finished my drink in the kitchen's too far, so.
Well, I'll drink for you. I can entertain our guests while you make a second or third or fourth.
But yeah, Jeff's good people. I actually met him. I had really just known him online, just from his presence through StrongFirst. I don't believe I'd ever actually met him before this. I was going out to Seattle for a ground force method course.
Cool.
And basically reached out to Jeff, and I was like, hey, bro, you have a couch I can crash on? And he was like, yeah, dude, when are you coming in?
So cool.
And literally met in the airport. It's like, Jeff, Matt, yeah, hey, brother, how you doing? So yeah, he's real good people. He's got an interesting story.
He does.
Yeah, nothing but positive to say about him.
He is such an impressive and amazing person. Like you, I have not met him in person yet, but I'm looking forward to that day. But online presence-wise, and Eric and I were talking about this too, like he just puts out such positive, inspiring, kind, and funny content.
Yeah. You know what? He keeps it real. He doesn't try to, get this follower or that follower or, be this, influencer. He's Jeff. He just tries to be Jeff.
Yeah.
And, that's, like I said, that's one of the cool, real things about him.
Yeah. And I hope, and I know people will see authenticity in that. I'm not good at faking or lying or doing anything. And if it flatters me every time I get acknowledged for doing something that might help somebody, I don't do it for that reason. Well, that's not true. I do it for that exact reason. I want to help people. That's all I care about, serving and helping, teaching, leading. I don't care about numbers or existential reasonings. It's just about helping people. That's all I care about. And you can tell with Jeff, that's the same thing. He just wants to show you his cute dog and some kettlebells and make you laugh, make you think.
T-bone.
Yeah, it's great people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? If you're in this industry and that's not the reason why you got into it, then you're in the wrong industry. Like, look, this is a second career. My first degree was in TV video production. You know, so this is a second career. Mm-hmm. I was initially drawn to this because I was an athlete and I was kind of living in a gym anyway, training, competing. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like the right thing. But I was also a coach with the martial arts, and I was looking to help my athletes. Mm-hmm. This was just another avenue that I can use to help those athletes be better. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the short version of my story here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, to your credit, and to amplify what you're saying, my career, I've had a few careers, and one was a criminal. I'll talk about that another time.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole other podcast, a really interesting one too. But I worked in a law firm, doing accounting and IT, if you can imagine that. How freaking nerdy is that shit? But I did it. Anyways, because of wanting to help people, my story was kind of sad at first, but it ends with a good ending. My whole family is morbidly obese, right? Disabled, a whole bunch of stuff. My brother, special needs, he was 21 years old, and he died of a heart attack. And I was like, what the F? Like, this is possible? Yeah. And I already enjoyed fitness like you did. And I spent a lot of time exercising, and people would come to me for, hey, Sean, what would you do for exercise? I'm like, I don't know. I train myself for myself. I don't know how to train you. I don't know your goals and how you operate. So anyways, went to school, got certified, and did the NSCA and ACE and NASA and all that stuff. But anyways, I think it's so important for people to follow their dreams and do the things that bring them joy authentically and really, as opposed to chasing it because, if I do this, it'll be at this income for this much time. I can go to that bump and yada, yada. It's, as they've all found out in the last 2 months, that system is broken. Right?
Yeah. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely true. I wake up an hour before I need to every day. So I'm so excited at what I get to do.
Same thing. Like I still set my alarm early, like it was, 64 days ago, Matt. Get my workout in, get up early, get what I need to get done. Mm-hmm. And then I can be back in here for when my kids wake up, when their clock turns green and they know they're allowed to get out of bed at that point. I can be there for for them as well.
That's beautiful.
And then do the same thing, read what all the books that I'm sitting here reading right now aren't just for, one of them is for fun. Well, no, actually that's not even for fun. That's for making myself better in this field, in this profession. We got a psychology of coaching, anatomy of breathing. Okay, so the Tai Chi ball is for me for fun. The Taekwondo stuff, a business book by Disney, Silat. Okay, that's for me for fun. They're all training books, all so that I can help people get better at what they do.
Oh, I love that, man. I love it. Like, this is a gift of time, right? We get to do this. Like, before we were push record, these happened to be out because I was reviewing them. But, these are all StrongFirst manuals. And, oh, look at that stack. No, what is the Disney way? I'm intrigued. I love Disney on a lot of levels. Disney Plus has been my favorite thing this year. Disney Plus.
Disney Plus and Red Bull and Red Bull TV have been my downfall. The majority of the business books that I read have been just stuff about Disney.
Interesting.
Because I forget where I was. Whatever it was. I forget where it was, but somebody had basically asked, like, it may have been a course that I was doing. Who are your competitors? You need to find your competitors and kind of see what they're doing and learn from that and figure out your business that way.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was coming out with, oh, my competitors are the other trainers in the gym or this gym down the block and blah, blah, blah. And I just remember saying, like, I read one of their books and I just remember saying, like, Disney. And everybody looks over at me like, no, your competitors. Not, what do you mean Disney is your competitor? It's like, well, both my business and Disney are things that people spend income on that aren't necessarily required for, they can live and survive without us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people are like, that's an interesting way to look at it. So, if you look at, kind of where my gym is, who are my competitors? Everybody around me. Starbucks across the street, this
Mm-hmm.
store across the street, that store across, not necessarily just that gym across the street, but any business that people spend their money on that they don't necessarily need to in order to survive.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like got me down this rabbit hole of kind of following some different, different business books. I followed some of the stuff with Pat Rigsby, and somehow I got caught up with the Disney Institute, and just kind of looking at some of their stuff and what they do, and then just again, literally did an Amazon search for Disney books, Disney business, and all of these books came up, and it was like add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, and it just happened to be the one that I'm on now.
Interesting. I am very intrigued by this, Matt. Very.
Yeah. It's interesting because they the way they talk about the people that come into their facilities, come to Disneyland, come to Disney World, their employees, their policies, it really can, just because it may not be a fitness industry or, a fitness component, but it's still a business.
Yeah.
And, once I left kind of the corporate gyms and started Stafford Strength, and basically, I became everything, not just the trainer. I became, the marketer, the web guy, the janitor, the everything for the business.
Yes.
I needed to learn everything else from the business, not just the, how do I pick stuff up and how do I put it back down? I needed to learn everything. So where do you learn everything from? The top. And, in my mind, that just, that's where I went.
That's so cool. I am intrigued. I'm going to check it out for sure. Recently we watched a movie about Mr. Rogers, and it was like
the Tom Hanks movie?
Not that one, not yet. We watched it with, who was the actor?
Wait, it wasn't Tom Hanks.
It was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Oh, who was the actor? He's very, very good, but it wasn't Tom Hanks. But basically, it was like he created something that wasn't there yet, right? He created because he wanted to serve an audience, and he did everything. He did the voices, he did the production, he did the post-production, he did all of it, like you, like myself. I didn't know how to run a website or what a secure certificate is or what SEO or keywords are, but I do now. Tell you what, I could coach anybody on how. I got hired by a law firm last week to build their website and create their YouTube channel so it affects their audience better. Because that's something I can do now. Like, you learn how to do these things. You learn how to serve your audience, no matter who they are. It's it's fun stuff. Anyways, I'm going to look into a Disney business book.
And there's a great. It's called the Imagineering. It's actually on Disney Plus. It's a I want to say it was a 4 or 5 part, 6 part kind of the history of Disney, starting with Walt's dream to today. Just search Imagineering. Again, just real interesting stuff on how to build a business.
That's helpful. I think a lot of people get stuck in like the profits and loss sheets, which are important. But like the structured do this to get that result. Like, but why? Like, why are you doing it? Why does your customer want this? Like the Simon Sinek Why is a good book as well, good audio book as well. It's got a good voice. Yeah, there's a lot to business. More than just clocking in and clocking out. And hours billable. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. And then, in our industry, a lot of people, I find, they think, oh, what's going to make them a better coach or better trainer is I can use these implements, or, well, hey, I can use the Bulgarian bag. You can't. So I'm a better coach. Yeah, but
see a lot of that elitist stuff. Yeah.
You know a lot of this stuff that I don't necessarily know, just because, you may know principles, but I know, equipment.
Right.
Both are correct.
Yeah.
But I think people just focus on the one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, all the certifications that they have after their name. That's what defines them as a better coach. How many times have people asked you what your credentials are?
I was going to ask you first. That's where my head was going immediately, that question.
I literally used to joke.
Maybe 3 times, maybe 4 in 10 years. Only because people find my articles on StrongFirst. They're like, oh, I'm like, but I'm not an SFG. I didn't pass the snatch test. I'm not an SFB. I didn't do the one-arm, one-leg push-up. Mm-hmm. I'm not an SFL. For various reasons. I have my reasons. But no, nobody ever cared.
If I listed all of my credentials and certifications at the end of my name, my business card would be a 3x5.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm looking at my email signature for one of my emails. It's just alphabet soup vomit. It's just
MS and CSCS. Those are the only 2 things I list on my credentials, and people don't even ask about that.
Right, and you think they would. Like, I had the CPT version of NSCA because I'm not college graduate. Even though I was at college like 5 times. But that's all my topic.
Separate podcast.
It's not what you know as much as what you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's they don't ask about it. They don't care. They just care that, or they just want you to be able to get them. Hey, these are the goals that I have. Can you help me with them?
Right.
Yes. People don't care if I use the kettlebell to help them get there, if I use the Bulgarian bag, if I use my Indian clubs to help them get there.
Mm-hmm.
They just care that I help them get better, whatever their better is.
That's it. For any business, doesn't matter. Like, we have a person coming tomorrow to examine our water pipes because a neighbor has a water leak. I don't care what tools they use. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I just here's access and just get the job done. I don't care what you do, right?
You ask them if they're a plumber.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, people that have cared if I have, a certain certification after my name, or I've been through it, is because they're about to go through it and want to work with somebody that's experienced in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's the only time that it's ever been asked, hey, do you have SFG, or have you gone through the Sublis course? Mm-hmm. That's it. Those are the only times that it's been asked for. Other than that, people don't care.
They don't. And I wish sometimes they did. I'm like, I put so much effort into this, but it wasn't for them. It was for me. So I have the knowledge and the wherewithal and the coaching ability to help them. That's all that it is.
Like, I've been toying with, I just found out that, so I have my master's in exercise science from California University in Pennsylvania. Yes, there's actually a town in Pennsylvania called California. So I did my master's in their exercise science and health promotion field back in 2009. Mm-hmm. And the track that I went was performance enhancement and injury prevention. And so I was, again, just looking online, like, hey, what can I do to help my clients, help my athletes more? Again, not for, hey, well, when I come out of this, I want, 6 more letters after my name, so that, no, what can I do to add to it? What am I kind of lacking? What do I need to bring up so that I can help my, my people better? Mm-hmm. And the first thing that came to mind was nutrition. So I went and, went over there. I was like, let's see what they're offering. If I could do some, postmasters courses, what do they have? Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the majority of my classes will transfer over. So I need 5 courses, and I'll have earned a master's in nutrition. So everyone's like, oh, do you really want another degree? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want a paper? I was like, well, first off, it's online, so I don't need to worry about the commute or this. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's kind of where I lack a little bit in what I can offer to my athletes. Mm-hmm. So why not? So I've been, like I said, literally the search started 3 days ago. I emailed them They just emailed me back with, these are the courses that I need. And now it's just a decision of if that's the route that I want to go to gain that education. I already do a lot of work with Precision Nutrition and their online courses.
Oh, yeah.
But again, the same thing. Yes, I have the Precision Nutrition. They're level 1, they're level 2. I offer their online pro coach. But now having, not even necessarily the masters, but just having more education in nutrition, when they ask questions or respond to some of the lessons and some of the homework, I can now respond to them better. Mm-hmm. And, potentially with more information and help guide them better than I could had I not gone through these classes. So it's like, I'm probably going to go through it, not just to say, hey, I've got 2 master's degrees, because guess what? I don't put MS times 2 after my name.
Touche. All right. Touche.
So again, it's all about you do what you need to do to help the population and the athletes and the people that you're working with. And for me, I found that during this time, while I have the time, because again, New York is on pause until the mid-June, I can start this process and go through that.
That's wonderful. I'm glad you're investing your time in bettering yourself to help serve the people you care about.
Exactly.
No, you're doing the right things, man. I appreciate that about you. I'll get on my little soapbox real quick. It irritates the shit out of me when I hear people complain how bored they are and how they're like watching all these shows. Like, but you could be learning something right now. You could be doing something for yourself to help you when you come out on the other side in a better way. But it's
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was it may have been both of them, both Pat and Ryan, had said, you want to come out of this better than you went into it.
Yes. Oh, Ryan had a funny one, a really funny one. Ryan Humphreys, that is. We can come out of this a drunk, a chunk, or a stud, right?
2.5 I got.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
But exactly what it is. Do I want to have just wasted the last 63 days that I cannot and will not get back? Mm-hmm. Or do I want to make the most of this and get better at something?
Right. Oh my God. I love every day that I have because, one, I do get to do writing, which I enjoy doing. But also, I take a lot of online courses, a lot, like you do, It's really nerdy stuff. It's like best aperture lenses to use with lighting. Like right now, why does this look so damn good over here? Not because I'm in a picture, but thank you. It's because I have lighting over here. I'll turn it off real quick, and you'll see a difference. Like, come on. Well, boom, it's off. Now it's going to turn on.
Where'd you go? I can't see you anymore.
Are you right? That worked. Okay. One of them worked.
Turn it on. The board in the background looks better.
Right. I know. There it is. Boom. So anyways, learning best practices with lighting, with audio. Like right now we're recording this with a little Rode wireless microphone, and little tricks like this to help professionals present their content in the best way possible. It goes a long ways, right?
And people will look at that and be like, oh, well, you're doing that for you because it's going to make you look better.
No.
It's going to make the content that I put out look more professional and better, so it'll potentially reach more people.
Yes, exactly. For example, I do have a YouTube channel. It's pretty active. It's actually the most active social media I have. It's not Facebook, Instagram, or even email. It's YouTube. I wake up in the morning, I've got like 40 comments to reply to on YouTube. Who else says that? I don't know. And I know. It's weird. But it's there. It's international. So YouTube, okay, Google is the biggest search engine. YouTube's the second biggest. Facebook is trying real hard to catch up, right? So when I watch all these fitness professionals or other professionals using Instagram and other things to like do their content, I'm like, that's cute. That's great. Good for you. But like, how is that even, how do you even track? How's that even tangible? How's that even quantitative? Like, how do you know what you're doing is affecting people other than likes? That just sucks. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. So YouTube.
Podcast 4.
Podcast 4 and 5 coming up soon, guys.
Yeah.
Even a podcast, for Christ's sakes. We can track the podcast and see where's – well, Matthew, to your credit, we set a record. Your podcast was like number 1 or 9 or whatever in Japan. Like,
whoa, that's a big difference. 1-9.
Well, okay, top 10. Let's go top 10.
Okay, fine. I'll take that.
Top 10 anywhere. I had top 6 with Jeff Sokol in Estonia. My wife's like, "Where is Estonia?" I'm like, "I think Europe, maybe." Yep.
What were we going for tonight? Number 1 in Canada and
1 in Canada for sure. We're going 1 in Canada. Hey.
And what did we say? Switzerland. We want the number 1 in Switzerland for this episode.
Yugoslavia. Is Yugoslavia a country?
Yeah.
Is Yugoslavia? Is it a country? I don't know.
We're gonna add that too.
Yeah, and Bosnia Herzegovina. We're going Bosnia.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're going for trifecta. The hat trick, if we can.
When I start getting weird emails at Stafford Strength, I'll know why.
Oh, exactly. It's so true. But the big message is you, myself, anybody listening to this has the ability to serve a bigger audience than they think is possible. It's not just people in your neighborhood. It's not just people in your local gym. It's not just people in your mall or your church or your synagogue or wherever you go. It is people are consuming content. They want to learn. They want to get better. They want to learn from people they appreciate and respect. So put out good content. Put energy and thought into it. Don't just it blows my mind. I see people in the fitness industry especially push record on their cell phone and then lean up against their bedpost and then train with horrible audio echoing throughout their whole house. I'm like, just go spend $100 to get a microphone. And 2, elevate your phone. 3, open your window. This is natural light. Natural light's the best. It's free. It makes everybody look good. Oh, there's always hacks. You should do it.
Funny, one of the I got in trouble for this quite a few times, but at one of my old corporate gyms, I basically told management that I wouldn't learn new trainers' names until they were with us for at least, I forget what it was at the time, like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because too many people looked at jobs in this industry as, and not to knock this job, they looked at it as like the waiter waitress job. Something that they can do for now until their big thing comes along.
Ugh.
Like, how can I just make a couple of bucks now to pay for this or do that or this? And as somebody that was so devoted and had so much skin in the game in this industry, I kind of wanted nothing to do with them.
Oh, I feel you, man. I feel you. And man, I know that you're doing what you can to serve people and help people in the best way possible. I mean, I hired you, I paid you to learn from you, and I will again in the future because I trust you and I respect you, and other people should too. And I'll have links below where to hire them at. So,
that's one of the reasons why I love the stuff with Precision Nutrition, because I'm now that I have that online component, I'm not just limited to Midtown Manhattan.
Right.
Anybody can do the Precision Nutrition course anywhere in the world. And I can help coach them to, again, whatever their better is.
Right. Oh, it's so true. Today I had a person in Scotland want to hire me to help them. They read an article on
somebody reached out to me from Germany to work on some martial arts, to work on Taekwondo.
How cool is this? How cool. And we can do it because we have technology. You have a webcam. I got a webcam. You got a microphone. Your webcam. We can help people anywhere, at any time. It's amazing.
Exactly.
So that's a blessing of this whole situation.
Yeah.
We're all in. It's easy to look at it like, oh, this sucks. I can't do the things I want to do. But 2, you can do things you didn't know you could do.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to get out of your mind. You're the one that's blocking yourself and limiting yourself, thinking, hey, this is all I can do, so now I'm SOL.
Right.
When no, you might be SOL on what you were doing, but how can I now kind of flip it a little bit, twist it? How can I still do what I do, but reach a different audience and help different people that may not have ever known who the hell I was before?
So true. So true. Oh, I hope to God that people take this away from this conversation, because that is the meat and potatoes. That's going to keep the lights on at their house, pay their mortgage. That's going to keep them moving forward and not settling on something they don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's if you're settling on it, you're never going to see it through. You're never going to care about it, or give it, the attention that it deserves.
Right. Oh.
It's something that you're passionate about. You're going to put your all into it.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my education. And again, not just so that I can have a prettier business card. It's so that I can help the people that I'm working with.
Oh, that's so wonderful, man. That's so wonderful. Oh, that I can't even follow that, because that's awesome.
And scene.
And scene. Exit stage left. No, is it mirrored, or does it? I don't know.
But I also learned, obviously you've got this, left for
Mm-hmm.
left and right, which is how I taught my son. But also when you're at a really fancy dinner, drinks, bread.
Oh, I just got smarter. Thank you. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
You're talking to a guy who eats sardines out of a can with his hands. Okay, so anything's a step up from that.
Paleo,
exactly. Well, don't be jealous, man. I'm so sorry, but I will share videos with you. The governor of Colorado has lifted the restrictions on camping. So long. I know. I'm taking you along on a virtual tour. I've already mapped it out. I tracked down a VR headset. Where is it? I have a VR headset. I'm going to shoot in 360. 2 different cameras in 360. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
Un momento. Getting real nerdy. I tracked this down. It's like $30. I'll buy you a set, okay? And I'm going to shoot in 360 for you and your family what life in Colorado can be soon, okay? I'm packed up. I'm ready to go.
I'm hoping so. We've got a family trip planned for when is it? The August. Hopefully gonna get out with the family out to me and my wife and the kids out to Steamboat again for a couple days, and then meet the rest of the family in Aspen. So hopefully that'll happen, and then September for Grand Junction for the ride, and then Denver for flexible steel.
I am looking forward to that very much. Trust me.
Yeah.
Very much.
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be, I really like teaching that course.
Well, like I said, I paid to hire you because I trust you. Yeah.
You're there.
I'm looking forward to it. Ryan's looking forward to it. Dan, the other owner, is looking forward to it. I'm going to advertise that in the links below as well. It's flexibility is so important. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? So strength training, very important. Obviously, you and I are all about strength and integrity and irritation and all the things that are strong, but it's only as good as the counterbalance, right? Like, how do you relax? How do you breathe? How do you recover? How do you mobilize? Like flexibility. So let's talk about that for a moment, if you would.
Yeah. So I look at, well, let me backtrack a little bit. I find that most coaches right now are good at the heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're good at getting people stronger.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, because of licensing and legal issues, a lot of people don't work on the recovery stuff just because in New York, I can't put my hands on somebody. So I can't take a massage stick and actually roll somebody out. That's a liability.
Mm-hmm.
I can show somebody how to do it, roll myself out, show them, hand them the stick, and they can do it. So I find that a lot of people forget about like the warm-up and the recovery component. And I find that that's one of the avenues that you can put flexible steel in.
Mm-hmm.
So it acts as your warm-up beforehand and your cool down after your session, depending on the strategy that you follow. You also, you see those guys that, huge arms, huge chest, bench press a car, but, that's as far as they can clap.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, great, you can pick up a car, but you can't pick up your keys when you drop them on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where flexible steel came from was a lot of Pavel's original works and what John Ingham, our master instructor, has found over his years as a martial artist, looking to increase flexibility, but looking to increase flexibility and find the techniques that work right away.
Yes.
Not something, hey, do this for 12 weeks and you'll, get better.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to do something now, include this technique, and still be able to do this tomorrow. Not just that party trick that, gets all the oohs and the ahs now, but then tomorrow you try to mimic it and you're like, great, where'd all of that go?
Yeah.
So then the next part of that within the flexible steel is the strength component. So now once you've improved your range of motion, you've increased your mobility and your flexibility, let's get strong in those end ranges as well.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we do in the level 2 is called the SOTS press. So basically, rack 2 kettlebells, clean 2 kettlebells, squat, and now press them from the bottom of your squat position.
That's tricky for a lot of people.
It is. It's impossible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Until they go through the course.
Nice.
But now people are like, well, why would I want to do that? Well, if you can press from that compromised position, imagine what it's going to do when you're not compromised, when you're in what you find is your standing position or your seated position. What you find is your comfortable, relaxed position. Well, let's make that odd position your uncomfortable, relaxed position. Or what happens if you actually have to move something from one of those odd positions? Your optimal lift position that you use in the gym may not always be where you have to move weight from.
Fact.
Up. It's sorry. Nobody just stands up, brace, bend, blah, blah, blah. No, sometimes you're lifting shit from weird angles.
Right.
So if you can't even get into that angle, you don't even have the business trying to pick something up from there.
Mm-hmm.
So the first part that we'll do in Denver is the mobility, is improving your mobility in pretty much everything so that, your body is back into its normal, what we call your length tension relationship. And it makes everything easier, better, quicker, stronger, faster down the road.
Oh, I am so damn excited.
Here, you got room there?
Always. I got room. Yeah.
All right. Let's go through a quick demo. Let's go through a quick demo. All right. So here's what I want you to do. All right. Here we go. So you're going to stand, tall posture, feet together, so that we have our baseline, so that we're not trying to guess, where you were before. Mm-hmm. I can't tell from where you are, but just move forward a little bit, just so that you're not going to hit the wall behind you. All right.
Get focused a little bit.
Focused on the guitar. There we go.
Always got to be focused on the guitar. All
right. So just as long as you won't hit the wall behind you. So what I want you to do.
Okay.
Good. So we're going to set the baseline right now. So feet together, hands at the sides. I want you to pick one arm up to 90 degrees, and I want you to rotate towards, so your right arm is up, rotate over your right shoulder as far as you can, and just mark the spot on the wall where you get to.
Rotate back or up?
Yes. Back. No, rotate back, like you're trying to point behind you.
All right. Right about there.
Good. And relax. Shake it out. Good. So you got the point where you, the furthest point that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So now what I want you to do, you're going to do the same thing, but now, so you're rotating over your right side. I want you to squeeze your left butt cheek as hard as you can as you're rotating.
All right. I like this. This is good.
So, hand up. Turn. Squeeze that butt cheek.
Oh, I got like 8 inches.
Good. Relax.
Oh, this is crazy. I love it. I love it.
Wait. There's more. So now what I want you to do, we're not going to forget that. So you're still going to squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
So hand up, you're going to rotate, squeeze that butt cheek. And now what I want you to do is try to get as tall as you can. So as you're rotating, I want you to get taller. Don't pick the chin up. I want you to think like you've got my man bun and somebody's pulling your head straight up. How tall are you right now?
6'1".
Good.
6'1.5".
You're 6'7".
6'7". You
So,
go. Arm
rotate,
out.
Squeeze that glute. 6'7". Get tall. Get tall. Get tall.
Oh shit. Yeah. You saw that, right? Like there's like this much more gain.
I saw your hand on this side of your body now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
There's one more.
Oh, all right.
So now, when people rotate, they think they're just rotating from a single joint. So what I want you to do is every vertebrae of your spine has rotation. Your lumbar spine, I believe they say, only has about 3 degrees of rotation. I want every vertebrae to get every single bit of rotation out of you. So, feet together, hand up. As you rotate, you're going to squeeze that butt cheek. You're going to get nice and tall. You're going to rotate every single vertebrae. And then I want you to imagine there's 3 or 4 more vertebrae on top of your head that I want you to rotate those as well. Commence. Good. Squeeze that butt cheek. Get nice and tall. Rotate those vertebrae above you.
You see that?
Good.
I touched my own book. That's crazy.
That's
wow. All right. Take my money. Take my money. I'm in.
So later on, I want you to do the other side just so that you're not off balance. But
for sure.
Just looking at the percentage and the range that you improved. Like if you could put a percentage on your improvement, what percentage would you say you improved?
25%.
25%. At high level and elite level sports, what is the difference between first and second place?
I would venture to guess 2% or less.
Points, decimals.
Yeah.
So if we can do one thing, I mean, first place and third place in some events is the difference between a $100,000 check and a GoFundMe account.
Touche. Well put.
So now this is just your rotation. We just did your T-spine here. Through the course, we're going to apply these 3 S's, the 3 principles that I just kind of had you do, and I'll save that for the course, what they are. We're going to apply those to every joint of the body.
Oh, I'm so into this. I am so Matt. I'm in.
And that's just the first half of the day. That's just before lunch. and
lunch we're like reach all the way.
Exactly. and then the second half of the day, what we do is we go through the full protocol. So somebody comes in, hey, I've got tight shoulders, or this is the evaluation that you do. This is where they're limited. Mm-hmm. Here's where we start. And here's how we kind of go up the whole chain.
Oh man, I am so into it. I am in love with this. I'm taking the course with you, obviously. So say a listener, a reader, a viewer of this podcast wants to learn more about this. Can they contact you to learn more about this? They
can contact me directly. I mean, the easiest place to go, if you go to the website, flexiblesteel.com, you'll see everything about this course in particular. Mm-hmm. If you have, and everything about the system. Mm-hmm. If you contact me directly, Matthew@staffordstrength.com, I can answer any additional questions that you have, about this stuff and about the course in particular. Perfect. I will have links to that in the show notes too for anybody else who didn't have a pen and paper as they're driving or listening with their kiddos, whatever. Yeah, I'll have links to that because, well, take it from me. Matthew's a great coach. You just watched it. You just watched what happened. And I'm like, I just improved you from 3,000 miles away. Yeah. Oh, I love it. And before we were recording, we're talking about that, like who we get to work with, where they are in the world, not just like in our cities, but like where they are in the world and how we are able to literally offer
extremely personalized service. Like I like to say before this whole thing happened, I like to put the personal in personal training, right? Like make it very personable. But now we're literally making it very personal. Like, hey, there's your wife or your domestic partner. There's your kiddos. There's your cat. There's your dog. There's my dog. There's my wife. Like, this is personal. You're in our space. I'm in your space. And we're offering help and services. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, if any of your listeners, if they go onto my website, one of the tabs on the top is affiliates. Mm-hmm. Basically, those are all of the people that I work with, products that, that I use. Saying before, like, coaches work by their tools. These are some of the tools that I work with as well. If any of your listeners, like any of those products or like any of those sites and do order anything, have them reach out to me. Again, Matthew@StaffordStrength.com. And I have a bunch of different affiliate discount codes and things like that I'd love to extend out to them.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm on your website right now. I work through affiliate marketing myself. You, sir, you are amazing. This is impressive. Rad Relief, Power Plate, Perform Better, huge. Polar, I have a Sunto, which is like a Polar. TRX, like yourself, TRX certified. We got, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff here. The rad board's cool. We have a cheesy board over here. I stand on all the time when I'm talking and walking and just doing our thing. Matt, you're doing great stuff. It's really inspiring.
Trying to. Like I said, those are the everything I do is for the athletes and the people that I work with, and those just seem to be the things that I find that help my athletes get the best results. And the education that's on there. There's some different education platforms with the NSPA. National Sports Performance Association. They have 4 different education tracks, program design with Coach Dose, nutrition, speed, certified speed and agility coach with Coach Lee Taft, and Olympic lifting with Coach Will Fleming. And like I said, just, those are the things that I use with the athletes that I work with, and those are the things that I believe in.
Oh, so
whether those initials are after my name or not, and they're not. Like I said, any way that especially in times like this, that I can help people out, I'm there for that.
That's awesome, Matthew. Well, I'll leave our listeners with this. This is Matthew's second stop on our show. It's not his last. We have a lot more to cover, obviously. He's a great coach, a great teacher, a great father, great husband, great person in general, So, Matthew, it just means a lot to me that you jumped on the show, we shared your knowledge. You taught me how to do something I'd never done before. That's cool. Like, come on. That's not just like a circus trick. That's something I'm going to do more of moving forward. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to learning from you at that course. And that course is available for people to sign up for as well. Links for that below.
Yep, the link for that is on the Flexible Steel website. If you click on events and then just find the event in Denver. Again, I believe it's September 20th at Existence Athletics.
Which is a great gym. I can refer people to the co-owners podcast, 3 or 4 of them. He's a great guy. Great guy.
And Flexible Steel is an affiliate with StrongFirst. So if any of your listeners are interested and are any of the modalities, as long as they're a StrongFirst instructor, that's their certificate is valid, shoot me an email. There's I believe it's a 10% affiliate discount.
Wonderful. And it plays so well together. The strength training, the flexible training. It works together.
It's the yin and the yang.
Couldn't say better myself. It is. Well, Matthew, much love to you, man. You're just an awesome person. I appreciate your time and your energy and your love and your family. Looking forward to part 3, 4, and 5 coming up soon.
Cheers to that.
Hey, cheers to that, sir. And to our listeners out there, I'll have links below on how to find out more about Matthew, how you can hire him, how you can learn from him from a professional level to a personal level. He's a real deal. He's no joke. I'm honored to share a page in Pavel's book with Matthew. He is a stud, a great person. And on that note, much love to your families. And thank you for checking out the Engearment.com podcast.